killed the man. But was it murder?
I went there to rescue my daughter from the clutches of Mitch Laurence.
The defendant, Mrs. Lord, has admitted to bludgeoning the deceased.
You say you struck Mitch Laurence.
I wanted to kill him in order to save my daughter's life.
You really have no remorse about killing a man.
Somebody was bound to do it. I'm glad that I did.
Oh, Dorian.
If you could turn the clock back, you would murder Mitch Laurence again?
One Life to Live, weekdays.
Your Honor, the defense calls Dorian Lord to the stand.
Place your right hand on the Bible. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Lord, I'm afraid that I must ask you to do something which is going to be very unpleasant for you. I'd like you to go back to the night Mitch Laurence was killed. You were at the Waterside Inn?
Yes, I was. I went there to rescue my daughter from the clutches of Mitch Laurence.
Could be just the clue the defense needs.
Or what, honey?
Well, Mitch was always talking into a cassette recorder that he carried around with him. We thought it was like Holy Scriptures or something. You know, the sermons and things he was writing.
Yeah, I'm sure he did, too.
But one day I walked in on him, and he didn't know I was there. And he was not talking about God's work. He was thinking up schemes to make money and other plans of his. That was my first moment of doubt about him.
Now, honey, I don't recall hearing anything about them finding any tapes.
Neither do I. But there may be something on them that could help Mrs. Lord.
Yeah, there certainly could be. Marilyn, how would you feel about talking to the police about this?
Don't worry about me, Daddy. I'll be fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to headquarters.
Came to the Waterside Inn that evening. You were frightened and concerned for your daughter. Now, what was it that Cassie had done that concerned you?
She was behaving in ways that were unlike her, as if she were a totally different person. I was frantic.
For instance?
She suddenly left word that she had flown down to the Caribbean.
Now, what was odd about that?
She was planning to take a great deal of money with her. $100,000. I should say that my daughter is a very wealthy young woman, which is why she was a target for Mitch Laurence.
Objection, Your Honor. This is pure speculation on the motives of a dead man, whom the lady has admitted killing.
Your Honor, this is our case. The net Mitch Laurence threw over Cassie Callison to pull her in.
Overruled. Continue.
Thank you. Mrs. Lord, how did you find out that Cassie had withdrawn $100,000 from the bank?
I found it out from Delilah Buchanan, who met Cassie at the bank. She told me that Cassie was behaving very strange.
Objection, Your Honor. This is pure hearsay.
Sustained.
Well, all right. Let's put it this way. When Cassie was withdrawing her money from the bank, she met Delilah Buchanan, yes?
Yes, but it was a great deal worse than that. Several $1 million worth. You see, Cassie transferred her entire trust fund to a Swiss bank account.
Ah, now I would imagine that alarmed you.
Oh, it alarmed me a great deal. I was terribly worried that she would move so vast an amount of money to a foreign country. And then it suddenly hit me that, of course, it was Mitch Laurence who was controlling her, Mitch's greed, and the drugs that he was giving her.
Objection, Your Honor. There is no evidence that the victim was using drugs on his disciple.
Sustained.
All right. What did you do when you thought Cassie was going off to the Caribbean?
I checked with the airlines, or rather, I had a friend do it, Jonathan Russell, to see if Cassie had actually taken the flight.
Did you have any luck?
We found out that someone had indeed used Cassie's ticket to fly down there.
Uh-huh. And what did you do then?
I went to the Waterside Inn to check to see if Mitch was still there or if he had gone with Cassie.
Perfect. Our ex-DA has just led his client right into the trap.
Where you finally discovered the suite which Mitch Laurence occupied. How?
I could hear Cassie calling for help.
To the best of your recollection, what was she saying?
I remember exactly. She said, "Help me, please, somebody. Please, God, help me." I could hear the sounds of a struggle, someone being hit, and I could hear Mitch's voice.
What was he saying?
He said, "Wake up. This is going to be the best you've ever had."
He meant sex.
Your Honor, counsel's leading the witness.
Was that an objection, Madam Prosecutor, or an observation?
No, it's known as trying to upstage the defense's line of questioning, and I object to the interruption.
Oh, let's get on with it.
Thank you. Mrs. Lord, what did you do next?
I opened the door, and I could see Mitch Laurence leaning over my daughter's unconscious body. He was about to rape her.
Yes, you better wake up for this, sweetheart. It's gonna be the best you ever get. Dorian. Sure you will.
Cassie! Cassie! Oh, thank you. Out into the corridor to see if there was anybody out there.
You say you struck Mitch Laurence with what you thought was a mortal blow. Mrs. Lord, why so hard?
Because I wanted to kill him in order to save my daughter's life.
According to Joy O'Neill, Mitch Laurence used drugs to maintain his control over your group. Is that right?
And brainwashing. Mary Lynn has cleared all that from her mind.
Yes, officer, we know about those things now.
Well, then maybe the time that you thought you heard Mitch talking to you might actually have been the drugs talking to you.
Lieutenant, my daughter didn't have to come here. She came because she wants to help.
I respect that, sir. The fact is, after searching that room pretty thoroughly, we found no evidence of any tape recorder or any tapes.
Well, Lieutenant, you suppose, since this Mitch was seen recording so often, that possibly he had something to hide and has hid it?
Well, you might be right. Now, we've torn the room apart, but let's take another look.
Okay. Thank you.
Difficult this has been for you, Mrs. Lord. It's been difficult for all of us to hear it. I want to thank you very much for being so honest about your feelings and about what happened that night Mitch Laurence was killed. Your witnesses.
Looks like you got your work cut out for you. Good luck. It's going to be my pleasure.